Welcome to the Verdin Sports Show. I'm your host, Jacob Verdin. Hope everybody had a good weekend. It's Monday. Playoffs are officially about halfway done, I would say. You got 4 teams left in the NFL. LSU wrapping up their transfer portal class. Both basketball teams got a W at the same time in the same weekend. They're an SEC conference play at that. Can you believe it? We'll break all that down for you. As per usual, any questions, drop them in the chat. We'll get to them throughout the stream. Let me go ahead and pop this up here. Jordan Seaton, let's talk about him, the offensive tackle that LSU's been chasing, and a lot of people, quite frankly, have been after him. Oregon is going to be another university that he'll visit after his visit here with the Tigers, but it looks like they're alleviating one of their biggest concerns in offensive line. I could sit here and beat a dead horse and talk about how horrible they were running the ball, how horrible they were in pass protection, or just on offense in general. I mean, but everybody already knows it. That's one of the areas that you had to address, that you had to fix. You had to go in and reholster your offensive line, because the protection, it's obviously going to start up front. You're going to have to get big names. Returning guys like Braylon Moore and Weston Davis is fine, but on Friday they got 3 commitments from offensive linemen. One from Baylor, Ole Miss, Maryland, all at decent size too, probably about 6'5", 6'6". The big one, though, the big fish, if you will, Jordan Seaton, the Colorado transfer tackle, one of the biggest areas on your offensive line that you're going to have to replace, if you want to be honest. So this is a very big visit, if you will. Some people are questioning about the value. How much does he want? Is it worth it? Should we take a shot? Should we just use that money elsewhere? I'll be honest, you're getting to that point with your class that you almost don't need anything else. So the money that you have right now, you might as well throw it at a big fish. You got the number 1 portal class. You've almost addressed every single hole on your roster. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't take the allocated resources and put it on somebody like a Jordan Seaton. Just from what we've seen so far on his visit, obviously everything looks like it's going positively. Lane Kiffin working his portal magic. Our guy Cookie right there on the field with him as well. If you can grab this one, and I don't think you're going to find out, obviously, before the Oregon visit. I think that's still going to be kind of a formality. Doing the due diligence, we always talk about that, especially, you've seen it in many other situations. Sam Levitt, whatever the case may be. Jordan Seaton won't be any different. I think he'll go to Oregon. I think he'll get recruited very hard. They got a nice bag. I think it'll just have to come down to the situation and what he's after. If he's after money, the biggest check, give me compensation currently. It might not be LSU, but if he's after the best chance to succeed, the best chance to get into a college football playoff, a national championship, get into the limelight, if you will, this is definitely one of his best locations, definitely one of his best spots, and I'm sure Lane Kiffin is pitching that to him all too well, especially when you got a university that drastically needs help in this area. There's a lot of times where you're in the transfer portal and you're talking to coaches and you're talking to schools, and they're just kind of feeling out where they would put you, where they see you, how much they need your presence. In LSU's regard, it's undeniable. Not only do they need you, quite frankly, they're going to be almost nothing without you. So in Jordan Seaton's regard, he knows if he goes to LSU, he's going to have one of the biggest roles possible, and he could be one of the biggest focal points, quite frankly. I think that it's not every day that an offensive lineman can get as much love as the offensive linemen that are going to show up in Baton Rouge will get, just because they've been that needed for that long, in my opinion. That's how I see it. Jordan Seaton, very big grab. We'll keep our eyes on this one. TJ Daugherty, this is a signee that I think is huge. We talked about him a little bit as well. I'll talk into some of his statistics at Ole Miss. He had 2 really good seasons. In the game against Miami alone, he had 11 tackles and a sack. So, I mean, that's hard to deny right there. He's all over the place. Key piece at linebacker, helps your defense instantly. Now, the key for him over here is going to be able to take that step up under Blake Baker. And Blake Baker's been able to do it with a lot of different guys, whether you want to talk about Damone Clark or whether you want to dial it all the way back to LA Tech and talk about Jalen Ferguson. There's been a lot of potential that he's unlocked in defensive pieces throughout the years, not even just at his time at LSU. But TJ Daugherty will be another example or another opportunity for him to be able to show that and showcase his coaching abilities. Because I feel like TJ Daugherty is a diamond in the rough piece where he's very talented, and I think he has all the tools. He just has to be put in a situation where he can display them. And at Ole Miss, he was doing it towards the end of the year. He's getting some love, especially in the Miami game, like I was telling you. I mean, the box score jumps out at you. But if you can do that for a third year in this NFL season, that step up, if you will, put him around guys like Whit Weeks, DJ Pickett, BJ Woodland, Dominic McKinley, Gabe Relaford, who's coming back. This is going to be an insane defense. And a lot of people are fixating on what they've done in the portal from an offensive standpoint. 4 top 5 wide receivers, 7 top 100 players, one of them being the number 1 player in the portal, and Sam Levitt, who's now your starting quarterback. But you've addressed so many pieces. The defense now finally getting polished a little bit. You retain almost every single cornerback that you had last season. I mean, it's pretty hard to sit back and point an area on this team that they're lacking in, that they don't have that much depth in. Maybe the safety room, but you've already brought in a transfer safety. You still got a guy like TaMarcus Cooley. I mean, you're going to be, and Deshaun Spears, you're going to be able to make this one work. I can't lie. TJ Daugherty, one of the biggest signees of this entire class, the number 1 portal class, if you will, for LSU. Looking pretty good here. Like I said, 7 top 100 players, 4 top 50 wide receivers. If you land Jordan Seaton, I think you can pretty much wind down. That goes back to my point where we were saying money, and we don't want to put the money in the wrong spot. And we got to make sure that we're spending it smartly. You do, and you've done it at this point. You got 35 plus commits. I think 38 on the dot. You've done your work. You've done your work. Not even to mention, let's talk about the transition as a whole. Lane Kiffin getting hired, uncertainty ensuing. People wondering what's going to happen on National Signing Day with guys like Lamar Brown and Richard Anderson. Well, they handle business. I mean, if you bring it back all the way to you retain Lamar, Richard, Avon Finney, Aiden Hall, Jabari Mack. You got the number 10 recruiting class, and then you pair that with the number 1 portal class. This is insane. It's an insane unit. I can't lie to you. And then if you want to look at this next-gen statistic, every national champion so far has had 2 top 10 classes in a 4-year span. There's only one team that can threaten that, and it's Indiana, and they could potentially win it tonight and break that streak. But other than that, every single champion has had 2 top 10 classes in a 4-year trailing span. It's been a smooth transition, and LSU's fitting right into that gap. Right into that mold, if you will. Better than a lot of other schools that are having a turnaround from a head coach, if you will. If you look at Florida, not trying to poke any fun, but they're 24th in the transfer portal rankings, 16th in the recruiting classes. Ole Miss is kind of doing good, number 2 portal class with 24 transfers. Penn State impressing me as well. They got 36 transfers, the number 5 class, even though they've had a lot of instability and uncertainty, if you will. LSU, though, like I said, bringing in 38 transfers, it's going to be interesting because that can go one of 2 ways in my head. Okay, you alleviate a lot of the concerns. If you hit on a lot of these guys, you're going to have a pretty good team. Now you're going to have an interesting period next transfer portal season when you're trying to keep some of these guys, prevent some of them from leaving, obviously addressing them again. The portal will get smaller and smaller, the class. It'll go from 38 to 25. It'll just continuously get smaller because the teams that are competing, your Georgias, schools like that, Miami, they're hanging around maybe 10 commits right now. Just we barely have any holes to fill. We've already addressed all of this through recruiting. I think LSU will eventually get to that point. But as of right now, you're taking shots. You're putting flyers out there. You're hoping that, quite frankly, you're hitting on more than you're missing, in my opinion. LSU's got a lot of moves under their belt. But we'll be breaking them down all week long. Transfer portal recap. Let's talk about basketball real quick. The hoops, the squad, both of them getting a dub on the weekend. First time this happened in a while, I can't lie. Women's team outshot them in every single area, 3-point land, free throw line, total field goal percentage, even had less total fouls. Shout out Jada Richard. She had a fantastic game, 21 points. Flage had an impressive game as well, 23 points, 10 rebounds. Malaysia Fulwiley with 12 off the bench, 24 total points from your bench. Oklahoma only got 11 points from their bench. It's a very good win for this team. They're hitting their stride, and it's tough to, I don't see LSU women's basketball get eliminated in an early round, and I hate putting that pressure on them. But after these last 2 victories, it's just tough to see them not pushing to an Elite 8 or Final 4. Now, obviously, that's the goal. Obviously, that's where they want to be. That's where their mind is focused on. But it's just I don't see really any unless an injury, barring a major setback like that. I think the squad is going to be good for a long time. And they got A&M next Wednesday. That should be a huge win. A&M's really not that competitive. Next Thursday, sorry, I said Wednesday. Next Thursday, Texas A&M. They should take care of that one. Men's team, they got a dub versus Mizzou. Nice victory. Led the whole game again. Didn't choke this time. Actually finished it. Actually got to the promised land. Highest lead they had was 14 points. They wound up winning by 8. Markel Sutton saves the day, 26 points. Max McKinnon with 20 points, 4 3-pointers. You only had 11 points off the bench, though. And this is when I'm going to harp and get into my complaining moment, if you will. I feel like that's a huge issue on this team. We've kind of talked about it all season long. This is a game where, yeah, your starters carried the weight, but this is what's crippling that team is they don't have a lot of depth when you're not getting these explosive points, when you're not getting the whole entire starting lineup scoring and carrying. It's kind of been a worrisome stretch for Matt McMahon's squad. They're going to have that depth flex, some of that muscle soon. I can't lie to you because there's been some question marks here. You get a dub, you get a victory. You can alleviate a lot of the questions. Going forward, though, it'll be interesting to watch this men's basketball team. Women's basketball, I got high expectations for. Men's basketball, no expectations, I should say enough. National title game tonight. National title tonight. A lot of people think it'll be an interesting game. I'm a little worried because Indiana's done what Indiana has done all season long. The Alabama game's in the back of everybody's heads. They performed very well versus Oregon. Fernando's had a year. He's had a great storybook season. A lot of people can kind of predict how this is going to end. Sports books are trying to predict it as well. Indiana minus 300, 7.5 point favorites. I think Mendoza, he can finish it off here tonight. Miami's defense is definitely a key focal point for a lot of people. Miami's defense has put a lot of teams in stressful situations. Ole Miss and Trinidad Chambliss, Marcel Reed and Texas A&M. They've done a lot to a lot of schools that I thought would be able to handle them. And I want to say something else too. I've said this multiple times. I'll say it multiple more. It's ironic watching teams that not a lot of people gave any hope for. Not a lot of people saw an opportunity for. Miami was scrutinized for even getting into the field, into the college football playoffs. And now you're in a spot where you're watching them dance in the national title game. And they can potentially win it all. Not to say that they will, but what a good story for Cristobal Carcebeck it would be. I got Hoosiers money line. That's who I think. I think Fernando gets it done. It would be interesting to watch Miami win, though. I really don't care how it goes, how it lays. Miami got it done when it mattered. They've been kind of the Cinderella team, if you will, during this playoff run. So obviously the underdog story is there. But Indiana, it just seems like it's their moment. Yeah, sometimes our guy Dave Chappelle said this. Sometimes you're just living in somebody else's dream, bro. Carson Beck might be living in Fernando Mendoza's dream tonight. It's just my opinion, and I can't lie to you. NFL playoffs. I'll give a brief reaction to this before we hop out. Broncos beat Bills. Bo Nix is broken. That's a heartbreaker. I made a joke saying Sean Payton's cursed from the bounty hunting season. Y'all not going to like to hear that. Just a joke, but horrible ending. The Broncos winning it, beating the Bills. Bills having the worst luck, it seems like, ever. They're constantly... It seems like one game away, one play away. And I know everybody's saying they got robbed. That's not a pick at the end of the game, all this good stuff. Josh Allen, you had multiple opportunities. A lot of turnovers, a lot of mistakes. I'm not going to sit here and blame the refs for that game. I'll blame Josh Allen for that game, unfortunately, in my opinion. Texans crumble the Patriots. CJ Stroud, listen, everybody, we've got to have an uncomfortable conversation about CJ Stroud. Patriots are a great team. It's tough to play on the road. I know the Texans are 0-6, now 0-7 in the divisional round, so there's just a bunch of things that are going to go into this, but we got to address the elephant in the room, and that's C.J. Stroud missed a turnover machine. Like, I remember the first year, and the season ends, and he posts on his Instagram story, he's number 3 in the league, top 5 quarterback, better than Josh Allen. I remember that. Then I remember the next year, Caleb Williams and him playing and him trying to give advice to Caleb after the game. I remember all that stuff. Now it's coming back to bite him in the ass. And mistakes happen. Tough moments happen. Back-to-back weeks, though, you putting up damn near 9 turnovers. I don't know what the statistic was. I'm not going to be able to break it down. I think he had 4 picks last night. He fumbled the damn ball like 4 times against the Steelers. C.J. Stroud, man, you're in a rough spot. And the Texans don't have any other options, so I'm sure that he's going to be their guy, and D'Amico Ryans is coming out and standing up for him. Of course, yeah, right. That's your franchise piece right now. Let's revisit this conversation in a year or two. I bet you C.J. Stroud's going to be looked at in a lot different light. And I'm not even saying he's going to lose his job. I'm just going to say the moments that we saw from him in this playoffs, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. And it's going to get to a point where it'll be hard to defend C.J. Stroud for those type of moments. I can't lie to you. A lot of other quarterbacks find themselves in the same situation. Josh Allen in Denver, unfortunately, this weekend found himself in that one. Seahawks killed the 49ers. Absolutely demolished. Seattle's the cheat code. Quite frankly, I could see them winning it all. Then Rams outlast the Bears. Crazy game. So Rams, Seahawks, Pats are going to play Broncos. Broncos don't have a single chance in hell without Bo Nix. I'm sorry. I know everybody wants to say they do. They don't. Pats are going to steamroll them. Rams and Seahawks. I got Seahawks. Think that could be a close game, though. Pats and Seahawks Super Bowl rematch. And I think the Patriots win it all, bro. I can't lie to you. That's what I got right now. That's how I'm feeling. That's the stock that I'm putting it in. Drake May, he's been cooking. Mike Vrabel, been having a good season. That's how I'm feeling. I think Indiana wins the national championship tonight. I think the New England Patriots win the Super Bowl. You want my NBA Finals take? Not the Rockets. Not the Rockets. Not Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant last night versus the Pelicans got 18 points, everybody. We had him to get 20 points, and he didn't get 20 points, unfortunately. And on that note, I'm done. Mic drop. I'm done. I'll see y'all Wednesday. Hopefully we have some good predictions. Hopefully LSU has some good portal signees, but that's all for me. I'm your guy, Jacob Verdin. This has been the Verdin Verdict, and y'all enjoy the rest of your Monday.